Prologue 2. The Torture of Damon the Prince. His palms burn. Searing pain courses through them. The weight of his body pulls down hard against the nails that drive through his hands, that keep him bound to the wall. Blood flows down his arms. It gathers at his torso, drips over the rest of his body, stains his soiled clothes. Dried tears taint his cheeks. Dried snot taints his upper lip. His upper lip quivers. His feet do not touch the ground. He aches. Queen Marika towers in front of him. A single unicorn knight stands idle each end of the hallway. The flames of torches dance along the stone wall. The boy watches their dance, the moment providing some brief bit of mental escape. The queen steps forward. The boy's eyes snap to hers. She grins.
I think you and I are about to get very acquainted. And I think acquaintances should get to know each other. So answer me this.
She leans closer.
Who are you?
The boy attempts to speak, the rapid trembling of his body, the incessant quivering of his lip, the sob between every word, forces a stutter. Queen Marika remains unmoved.
Stop crying, or I make it worse for you.
The boy forces composure. He struggles to hold eye contact.
My name is Prince Damon. My father is King Astani.
The queen replies,
Oh, sweet child. Your father is dead. I killed him.
An impossible shock takes hold of Prince Damon's face. The sheer disbelief nearly purges the pain from his mind, but after a moment, its heat comes rocketing back, reminding him of where he is. Queen Marika speaks once more.
I've always thought parents were close to their children. Fathers and sons especially. Always telling each other all sorts of things.
She cocks her head to the side.
Did your father tell you any sorts of things?
Prince Damon takes a moment to reply.
I don't know.
Queen Marika maintains her uncomfortable closeness.
Surely you must know something. To tell you the truth, I'm really quite fascinated by that sword of his. Where it came from. How he made it. Being that you're his son, well, I find it hard to believe you know nothing. I suggest you spill what secrets you know before I spill you all over the floor.
Prince Damon replies, wasting no time.
I don't know. I promise. He told me only grown-ups could be in that club. He wouldn't let me join.
The queen raises an eyebrow.
Club? Do you speak of the Legion?
The prince nods. Queen Marika chuckles.
We hunted them down when we first entered the city. Time was of the essence, you know. So many of them refused to talk. So many of them were eager to die.
She sighs.
No, my boy. I'm afraid you're the only one left. Your people have been slain. So you're going to have to give me a little more than that.
She wraps her mouth around the hand of Prince Damon. Her slimy, leathery tongue slides across his fingers with intent, with force, almost moving them into place. She pulls his thumb between her teeth. She clamps down hard, pulling and tearing away. He feels, hears, his skin snap. Prince Damon screams. Unable to resist, his eyes flick over to his hand, a pulsing, mangled stump where his thumb once was. Queen Marika spits the bloody thumb onto the ground.
Like wet clay between my teeth.
The screams of the prince turn to sobs. He forces words.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I don't know anything.
The queen shakes her head.
I disagree.
She steps close. She places her bloody lips over the young prince's hand. He writhes in protest. He begs her to stop. He knows what's to come. Queen Marika slides his index finger into place with her tongue, holding it between her teeth. She clamps down, pulling away. The wet snap of skin follows. Queen Marika spits the bloody finger onto the ground. The prince screams. Amid this, the queen licks the blood from her lips.
Everyone knows something, so tell me what you know.
The prince struggles to bottle his shrieks, but after a moment, he does.
I don't know magic. I don't know swords. I don't know anything.
The queen frowns.
You are testing my patience, young prince.
She takes a breath.
I will count down from 8 to 1. I suggest you jog your memory.
She leans in close, her voice dropping below a whisper.
You won't like if I get to 1.
She leans over to the prince's hand, wrapping her mouth around it. The prince shrieks. Muffled only slightly, Queen Marika speaks.
8.
She bites. Skin and bone snap like an apple. She spits out the finger disgracefully. Blood spills from the stumps on the prince's left hand, its position locked to the wall by the nail that pierces it. The queen wraps her lips around the prince's bleeding hand.
7.
She bites. Flesh snaps. She tears away. She spits the finger to the ground. Blood cascades down the prince's palm. The queen wraps her lips around the prince's bleeding hand. Futilely, he bends his pinky away. The queen forces it between her teeth with her tongue.
6.
She bites. The snap is almost deafening. The blood of the prince paints his palm a deep, unsettling red. The queen spits the finger to the ground. The prince continues to scream. The queen walks to his other hand, intentionally drawing out the moment. The sound of her hooves echoes. With a mere moment of respite, he forces himself to speak.
I don't know anything. Stop! Stop! Please!
The queen wraps her lips around the prince's other hand. She slots his thumb between her teeth with her tongue.
5.
She bites. She tears the thumb away. Blood pours from the place where it once was. She spits it onto the ground. The prince, more frantic, forces speech again.
Stop! Please! I'll do anything! I'll do anything!
The queen wraps her lips around the prince's bleeding hand. Her viscous saliva mixes with his blood. She forces his index finger between her teeth with her tongue, it too now coated in the blood of the prince.
4.
She bites. It snaps. She rips it away. She spits it onto the floor. The prince speaks, hysterics taking over.
Please! 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 Stop! Stop! Stop!
There is no one to listen. The queen wraps her lips around the prince's bleeding hand. She forces his middle finger between her teeth.
3.
She bites. The skin snaps. The prince howls in anguish. The queen spits the finger onto the floor. The prince, desperate, speaks again.
Please, I'll help. I'll help you. I'll do anything.
The queen wraps her lips around the prince's bleeding hand. She forces his ring finger between her teeth with her tongue.
2.
She bites. The finger snaps. The prince howls. Sanity cast aside. The prince screams.
Stop!
The queen wraps her lips around the prince's bleeding hand. The blood pouring out from his ragged stumps trails down his arms, painting both a deep red. She forces the prince's pinky between her teeth.
1.
She bites. The finger snaps. The prince weeps. Queen Marika takes a step back. She locks eyes with the prince. She spits the finger onto the ground.
You've caught me in a good mood. All things considered, today has been a pretty good day. So I'm going to give you one last chance. Tell me what you know.
Through rapid, pained breaths, the prince speaks.
I told you. I don't know anything.
Snot, fresh, drips from his nose.
No one told me anything.
The queen shakes her head.
Shame. And we were just getting to know each other.
She looks to her knights.
Take him down and hold him to the floor.
The prince wails in protest. The bleeding stumps of his hands flex slightly, a subconscious attempt to form fists. The 2 unicorn knights approach. Their horns glow blue, as do the nails holding Prince Damon to the wall. The nails tear from his flesh. He drops to the floor. He scrambles to his feet. He runs, his empty palms clasped together, an attempt to wrap his fingers around his wounds. Queen Marika's cold voice chills him.
Running will get you nowhere.
The air around Prince Damon glows blue. His legs yank out from under him. His face impacts the heavy stone with a loud crack. Blood pours from his nose. The prince's body drags across the floor. He returns to the unicorns, the knights with their horns glowing blue. The prince paws at the floor to no avail. Against his own will, his body flips over, placing him onto his back. He stares up at the unicorns above him. He is mortified. The blue glow fades. Each knight places a firm hoof on the prince's chest, pinning him down. His arms and legs flail violently. He does not move an inch. Queen Marika stares down at him.
Let's make sure you don't run off again.
She leans down toward his kicking legs. Prince Damon throws a pitiful kick in her direction. She catches his foot in her mouth. She clamps down, splintering bone. She slides higher up the leg. She stops at his lower thigh, gripping it tight with her teeth. With all of her strength, she pulls. Prince Damon feels the heavy strain of his muscles, doing everything in his power to resist. Then he feels the tear. A thunderous wet rip echoes through the hall. Blood, rapidly pooling, gathers around the prince's waist. His mind rings, a metal static overtaking conscious thoughts. Looming over him, just a few paces away, Queen Marika holds the dismembered leg of the prince in her mouth. She drops it to the ground.
I don't suppose we want you hobbling off either, now do we?
With his frantic vitality greatly diminished, the queen grips the prince's remaining leg in her mouth. The knights continue keeping weight on the chest of the prince. The queen pulls. A thunderous, wet rip echoes once more. Prince Damon hardly notices more than the heavy strain, the burning, pulling pressure, quickly followed by the lack of it. The blood around his waist creeps up, the pool now drenching his back. Queen Marika drops the leg of the prince from her mouth. Blood paints her lips. It spills between them as she speaks.
It's a shame, really.
She walks over to the side of Prince Damon. Her hooves lightly splash in the blood, dotting the prince in red speckles.
I thought we were great acquaintances.
She leans down, wrapping her lips around the forearm of the prince. She pulls once again. The heavy, wet rip rattles the prince's ears. He can almost feel himself floating softly in a warm, red ocean. Nothing but the water and the breeze. The water and the breeze. The breath from Queen Marika feels almost like a breeze. At his other side now, she firmly clamps her mouth around his other forearm. Another forceful, heavy pull. The muscle begins to fray. The skin begins to tear. Queen Marika's back hoof slips in the blood. She steadies herself at once, but drops the arm from her mouth. She shakes her head.
Little ones are always such a mess.
She places her mouth back over the broken, blooded arm. She pulls. This time, it rips free, leaving the prince with nothing more than a mangled, twisted stump. Queen Marika drops the arm from her mouth. She stares down at the bleeding prince below her. She frowns.
I thought I told you to stop crying.
That phrase rattled around in the prince's head. Stop crying? She told him to stop crying. Was he crying? The prince realized his mouth was wide open. He realized a primal, guttural shriek was belting out of it. The pain of his torment had been so great, the prince failed to realize he had been screaming. Queen Marika leans down, sticking her face up to the prince's. She forces her snout deep within his mouth, stretching it far beyond normal capacity. The prince feels the texture of her muzzle under his teeth, the taste of her breath in the back of his throat. The cuts on her face pass under his lips. The smallest bit of blood from her wounds enters his own body. Prince Damon, barely clinging to consciousness, notices a sudden taste of cotton candy. The queen grips the boy's jaw in her own. In a slow, forceful motion, she tears it away from his face. His tongue rips out behind it. She drops it to the ground. It splashes in the blood below. The young prince, soaking in a pool of his own blood, surrounded by the ragged flesh of his own torn limbs, closes his eyes. Queen Marika, face drenched in blood, turns to her knights.
Our work here is done. Inform the general of our lack of intel from the boy. If you find any survivors on departure, have them brought to me. Alive is mandatory. Whole is optional. Let us not waste time. We have a kingdom to return to.
She takes a breath.
And I'm told my daughter wants gingerbread.
She sighs.
Again.
Both knights nod. They walk off, heading back toward the throne room. Queen Marika takes one last look at the broken, bloody prince.
Long live the king.
She leaves. following her knights. The dying mind of the young prince drifts away on the warm, welcoming waves of a comforting red ocean, its breeze lulling him to rest. Warmth. A gentle, pleasing warmth. Warmth on the eyelids. A light. A soft light. A warm light. Light on the eyelids. Warm light on the eyelids. Eyelids. Eyes closed. Bird sounds far in the distance. Iron. An iron smell, a stale iron smell, a bad smell. More bird sounds, pretty bird sounds. Warm light on the eyelids, getting warmer, brighter. More bad iron smell. Stone. Stone below. More bird sounds, more light. Sunlight. Prince Damon opens his eyes. He wishes he hadn't. He looks down. Far below him, far away from him. He sees his arms, his legs. Their skin, dried from the sun, is mostly red, crusted red. Even from here, he can see flies. Flies buzz around them. He looks to his left. He can see the thick, crusty red residue that surrounds him, the bad iron smell. Against the far wall, he sees his fingers. What are likely his fingers anyway? It's hard to tell. His vision is blurry. Mostly blurry. Why? What happened? He can't move. He tries to move, but he can't. Why? He looks down again. He sees his arms, his legs. He looks to his own body. He has no legs. He looks to his left, his right. He has no arms, but the bleeding stopped. He isn't bleeding, but he has no arms. He has no legs. What is this? He calls for help, but there is no call for help. He tries again, louder. A soft, popping noise, barely audible, comes from his throat. But no words, no volume. Why? What is this? He tries once more. Another quiet, popping noise. He tries again. Another popping noise. He tries again. The noise repeats. He can't feel his tongue. He looks back to his left. He sees a crusty, red clump of flesh. He looks back to his right. He has an arm. No, not an arm. He focuses on the spot. His vision, by the smallest amount, begins to clear up. Not quite an elbow. That's what he has. Not an arm, and not quite an elbow. But it's something. He tries to move it. It twitches. He tries to move it again. It twitches more dramatically, more precisely. He tries once more. It moves. It's not an arm, not even up to the elbow, but it moves. He pushes it against the floor. He feels the thick, crusted surface at the end of it. He pushes against the floor harder. He moves. It was barely noticeable, barely perceivable. Maybe to other passers-by, sure, but not to him. He notices things that others don't, perceives things that others don't. Why? What happened? What is this? He pushes against the floor with his appendage once more. He moves again, very slightly, very, very slightly. Quite possibly the smallest movement a living thing could possibly make. But he did move. Is he a living thing? Is he alive? He pushes against the floor again. His body turns by a fraction of the smallest of smallest movements. Is he alive? He pushes again. At the far corner of his vision, not visible before, but visible now thanks to the slightest of turns of his body, he sees the rancid remains of his lower jaw. and he remembers. He pushes against the floor, making the first of 1,000 movements toward the throne room at the end of the hall. He remembers his father telling him to leave, to say his goodbyes, to never speak of him again. He pushes against the floor. He remembers sneaking back into the castle. He remembers hearing screams. He remembers being scared. He remembers hiding in his room. He pushes against the floor. He remembers seeing a unicorn break into his room. He remembers being terrified. He remembers the horn buried deep within its eye. He remembers it, too, being terrified. He remembers it leaping through the window. He remembers the sound of breaking glass. He pushes against the floor. He remembers fleeing from his room at the sound. He remembers the fear of what might happen if his father found him. He remembers running down the hall. He remembers seeing the room full of blood. He remembers seeing the room full of unicorns. He pushes against the floor. He remembers the vile stench of iron. He remembers the uncomfortable feeling of pissing himself. He remembers being told to be brave. He remembers his father telling him to be brave. He remembers not being brave. He pushes against the floor. He remembers being nailed to the wall. He remembers the stench of the breath of the unicorn. He remembers wanting to have known something. He remembers losing all of his fingers. He remembers the torture. He pushes against the floor. He remembers trying to run. He remembers breaking his nose. He remembers being dragged across the floor. He remembers his legs being ripped from his body. He remembers his arms being ripped from his body. He remembers the torture. He pushes against the floor. He remembers the unicorn sticking its mouth into his. He remembers the unicorn clamping its jaw around his. He remembers his lips feel the cuts of her face. He remembers the taste of cotton candy. He pushes against the floor. He remembers the taste of cotton candy. He remembers the sweetness. He remembers the surprise at tasting it. He remembers the taste of cotton candy. Why? What is this? Is he alive? He pushes against the floor. Someone would find him. He knows someone would find him. No, someone will find him. He knows someone will find him. He just has to get to the city. If he gets to the city, someone will find him. Someone will help him. This will all be over when he gets to the city. This nightmare will end when he gets to the city. Someone will find him. Someone will help him. No. He pushes against the floor. He remembers the screams. He remembers the fire. He remembers the bloodshed. He remembers the sounds of the dying. The city is dead. The kingdom is dead. His father is dead. The legion is dead. He is not dead. Why? What is this? Is he alive? No one will help him. No one will find him. No one will ever find him. No one will ever come looking for him. He is not dead. He pushes against the floor. He remembers the unicorns. He remembers the screams. He remembers the fire. He remembers the bloodshed. He remembers the sounds of the dying. He remembers the torture. He remembers waking up with no arms or legs and not being able to move. He remembers the unicorns. He pushes against the floor. He hates the unicorns. He pushes against the floor. He hates the unicorns. He pushes against the floor. He hates the unicorns. 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 He pushes against the floor.